This is the book of Lamentations, chapter 4, verse 21, and it reads, Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwellest in the land of Uz. The cup also, Salakia, shall pass through unto thee. Thou shalt be drunken and shalt make thyself naked. All praises, all power, all glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Bahashem Rachaha Kwadash. Yahweh being the name of the Father, who the world everybody calls God. Yahweh, meaning he exists. Bahashem, meaning in the name. Yahweh Shai, who the world everybody calls Jesus Christ. Yahweh Shai, meaning he is salvation. Bahashem, meaning in the name. Rachaha Kwadash, Spirit Holy. Double honors to the apostles and elders of great Muslim who teach one of Ruwal, who taught me this truth. Peace and salutation to the Akyam, the fellow laborers, the hopeful elect, pushing this truth at risk of their own lives throughout the four corners of the earth. To the Akwathiam listening and learning in sincerity and in truth and in silence, Shalom. Akyam meaning brothers, Akwathiam meaning sisters, Shalom meaning peace be unto you. It's your brother Shema from the GMS Toronto camp, here in Toronto, here with another lesson. And we'll get right into it. This article today, Tuesday, March 26th, the hopeful year of Jacob's trouble comes to pass. Yahoo News, cyber threat to U.S. power grids escalating as election approaches, right? These diabolical madmen are telling you what they're going to do. U.S. power grids are facing heightened risks of cyber and physical attacks as the election nears, according to the nation's top reliability regulator, right? They're telling you what they're going to do, man, right? Revelation of the method. That's an occult belief. I have it queued up. It's an occult instrument that they do. No, it's not the one I want. Also known as predictive, it's close companion, predictive programming. Where is it? I should have highlighted it. Right here, Revelation of the Method, or ROM, as it's often abbreviated, is an occult art wielded by the puppeteers behind the scenes of our society. It's the practice of revealing hidden truths and sinister agendas in plain sight, cloaked in symbolism and subtext. Right? Through the magic of storytelling and media, they manipulate our perceptions, influencing our choices and bending our reality to their will, right? And that's what these devils do, right? These diabolical madmen, right? But they're moving with haste, right? They know they have but a short time, right? But Babylon the Great, Babylon the Great is done. It's finished, right? It's going to continue to crumble, right? Because that is the will of the Lord, Yahweh B'Shem Yahshai. Lamentations 4 and 21, and it reads, in the NLT, are you rejoicing in the land of Uz, O people of Edom? Right, Esau Edom, the ruling class elite, the wicked according to scripture. The so-called white man, he's not white, he's red, he's pink, he's translucent. His blood shows through his skin. But you too must drink from the cup of the Lord Yahweh B'Shem Yahshai's anger. Right, that cup is slavery, man. Hard time, slavery, that's the cup you have to drink from. You too will be stripped naked in your drunkenness, right? You're going to be exposed. Verse 22 in the NLT, O beautiful Jerusalem, right? Israel being a people before it's a place. You so-called indigenous, you so-called Latino, you so-called Negro, and speckled bird. Your punishment will end. You will soon return from exile, right? That's the deliverance beginning with the elect, right? This is it. This is the last captivity. This is it. This is done. Once Babylon the Great falls, right? It's the kingdom of heaven on earth as it is in heaven under Yahweh Shai. But Edom, right? Esau, Edom, you ruling class elites, beginning with your ruling class elites, beginning with your nobles, but Esau, Edom as a whole, the nation of Esau, Edom. Your punishment is just beginning, right? Hardcore slavery for you Edomites. This is the swan song of your rulership, your heaven, which is your rulership. Your punishment is just beginning. Soon your many sins will be exposed, right? The Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, the Lord is going to send his son Yahweh Shai, his arm, his mighty hand, to melt this place, right? So Esau, it says here, rejoice and be glad, right? Live it up, man. Go out there and party it up. Do a whole heap of indulge in all kinds of fentanyl and perks. Do your thing, Esau, because this is it. Right? Your leaders are telling you what they're gonna do, man. All hell gonna break loose if the grid goes down. All hell gonna break loose. Right, we're in the week of the feast of unleavened bread. We're still in the week of the Passover. Right, the Lord brings out all kinds of judgment, heavy judgment. Right, look what happened in Moscow a few days ago. Look what happened on that bridge down there in Baltimore this morning. Also, there's a fire underneath another bridge in I believe it's the state of California. That was this morning. All kind of judgments is going out. Everything is being dialed up. We're in a time where we have to be circumspect. Ephesians 5, verse 15, it reads, see then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise. Right? Circumspect meaning to be looking around. Right? Us in this truth, the hopeful elect, Lord willing, we're of that number. We're aware of our surroundings. We know what's going on. We're not, our heads aren't down in our phones, not aware of our surroundings. Look at the judgment that went forth on that bridge. Guaranteed most of those people were not being circumspect. They're just going about their daily grind, their daily routine. They might have been texting and driving, heads in their phones, right? It's not being circumspect. Not as fools, but as wise. And that doesn't mean if they were being circumspect, they would have avoided the judgment, because all the ways of the Lord are all his ways are judgment, righteous judgment. There's nothing you can do to deliver yourself from his hand when the Lord decides for judgment to go out. This just means don't be out here careless. Verse 16, redeeming the time because the days are evil, right? The days are evil. Things are being cranked up. This devil's moving. He knows he has but a short time. He has all kinds of wickedness brewing, right? He wants to get his NWO out. He needs to roll it out. We got to get this NWO out like it's an assembly line of Tesla cars. He's got to get it out. So he's moving. He's turning the speed up. Ultimately, it's the Lord putting the spirit on him to move with haste, because it's the Lord's agenda. Verse 17, wherefore be ye not unwise, but understanding what the will of the Lord is, right? Ultimately, all of this is the will of the Lord. If the grid goes down, that's the will of the Lord. The bridge got taken out, that's the will of the Lord. Moscow, what went down in Moscow last week, that's the will of the Lord. Deletions, the will of the Lord. Ultimately, what's the will of the Lord? Thermonuclear, intercontinental ballistic missiles, and laser beams from the chariots. 18th verse. And be not drunk with wine, right? That's twofold. Don't be out there being a rumhead, right? But you got to be walking in the spirit, man. Right? Walking in the spirit, spiritually sharp, right? But also don't be out here rummed out of your face. Wherein is excess, but be filled with the spirit, right? Walking in the spirit. Right? Second Esdras. Where was I? Second Esdras. Second Esdras, Salakia. Second Esdras 15, verse 10. Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. Israelites, Israel being a people before it's a place. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt. That's the elect. The elect are going to be delivered. But I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm. Right? Bring them with a mighty hand, the mighty hand being Yahweh Shai, and a stretched out arm, right? The deliverance of his elect. And smite Egypt with plagues as before. Smite Egypt, right? America the Great, Babylon the Great, spiritual Egypt, spiritual Sodom. Smite them with plagues as before. This is talking about America the Great, Babylon the Great, not ancient Egypt. So the same way ancient Egypt got its face kicked off with plagues, America the Great, Babylon the Great is going to get its face kicked off with plagues. And will destroy all the land thereof. Egypt shall mourn, America, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai shall bring upon it, right? The plague, ultimately the missiles, right? But the pestilence is a plague, famine is a plague, but ultimately the missiles. They that till the ground shall mourn, farmers, they shall mourn. For their seed shall fail through the blasting and hail, right? Their seeds are going to fail through what? So-called weather phenomena. And with a fearful constellation, right? Fearful skies. This is happening right now. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. Woe means destruction. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. The sword, a killing instrument. Today being the blicky, the stick, the clapper, the thumper, the machine. And one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands, right? Civil unrest. You think if picture the lights out for 10 days, 14 days. That's chaos. Anarchy. That's what's coming to Babylon the Great. 16th verse. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. Sedition means rebellion. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, right? They're not going to care what the governor has to say. The police has to say. The president, the prime minister, the mayor, they ain't going to care. And the course of their action shall stand in their power. They're going to do what they want. Right, the law of violence. You know, a man will off a next man, run his pockets, step over him, and keep it moving. That's what's going to be taking place. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Right, checkpoints, military checkpoints, martial law, 15-minute cities. Right, that's travel restrictions. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled. The houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid, right? Men gonna be afraid in that day, man. Jeremiah 13:7. Why does every man has his hand on his loins, roughly paraphrasing, right? As if he was giving birth, as if he was in labor. Right? Men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, right? A man's not going to care if he knew you. You were his neighbor. He was in the same office building as you. You guys had lunch together. You guys did the lottery pool at your work. He's not going to care, man. But shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods, right? That's home invasions. Because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation, right? The lack of bread, food scarcity, and great tribulation. Babylon the Great. This is what's coming. So with that, call Allah Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakaha Kodash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who teach one and rule well. Shalom to the hopeful elect.